Hey folks, it's kind of a windy, almost wannabe cold day here. Really wasn't that cold, but the wind was really whipping, so there wasn't much enjoyment in being outside. Kind of took the afternoon off and did some stuff around the house, and I thought that I'd show a little bit of what I do every fall to get ready for the colder, wetter winter to come. It's pretty straightforward. First things first, buy a pack of cotton gloves. They're kind of like roping gloves. They're a little bit thicker. I buy the small. I like them to fit tight. I don't like a bunch of extra hanging off the tips of my fingers. They're pretty cheap. You can get them at your farm or ranch or outdoor store or wherever. If you see me with a brand new pair of these on in the morning, it means I'm probably expecting it to be pretty cold that day. So that's that. Second thing is wool. I love base layer of wool. The cheapest way to get wool is from an Army surplus store. You can see that is. There's some really nice options out there that a lot of Western stores sell, like Capriola sells them. And they're a fleece lined wool sweater, and they might have a zipper or a pocket and some nice looking designs. That's great if you can afford those. Personally, I can't. This one keeps me not quite as warm as the fleece lined ones, but if you put a flannel shirt underneath that wool and then maybe a vest of some sort and then a jacket, you're pretty good to go. So you'll see me in a lot of ugly green Army fatigues, and that's why it's pretty affordable. I put a couple extra blankets in my bedroll probably close to a year ago, maybe a little more. I've got a video detailing what I keep in my bedroll. Of course, I got some Army surplus store wool blankets in there too. So kind of the meat and potatoes of this video is my jacket and my shotguns. I wanted to show how I treat each one of these. I don't treat my shotguns every fall, but they're kind of due for it this year. So I like to oil them. See, I got the fireplace going. I'm set right up next to the fireplace there. I just set them out. Be right back. Set them out, let them get good and warm. Knock any big chunks of mud or manure off of them. And then oil them. Just like with my saddles, all I use is olive oil. For leather, it's the best, cheapest, most economical option. Some guys say, oh, Luxol or Neat's Foot or this or that. Olive oil's fine. It literally works as well and is way cheaper than any of the other solutions. You'd be amazed how many big time saddle makers don't touch anything except olive oil. Wipe piece of sheepskin, wipe most of the excess off. Let the leather get good and warm, and then just a light coat is all you need. You can see how much that darkens it up right away, especially down where it gets in the manure and where the cracks are. This is gonna not only prolong the life of this pair of shafts, it's also going to help in their waterproofing aspect. And I don't know about you, but I don't like being wet when it's cold. So, my gear that should be waterproof should be waterproof. Again, it's just a light coat. You don't gotta soak them, nothing like that. It's been 2 or 3 years since I've done this pair of shafts, so they're gonna darken up a bit. Any leather will darken up with olive oil. Biggest thing is any creases, like right here where my knee is, I want to make sure and get good, because it seems like that's the first spot that the water will get through. So I want to make sure that they're real good. Turn that leg over. Get a little more olive oil on my sheepskin here. Okay. And again, it's just a light coat. We're not trying to saturate this. A little bit too heavy up there. I'm going to kind of try and work it down. Olive oil versus neat's foot oil versus, you know, Luxol or whatever you want. That's a debate as old as time itself, I think. Everybody's got their preference. If you treat with something different, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. I'm not opposed to trying new things. Not opposed to trying new things at all. You can see these are kind of soaking it up pretty good. This hide is not a veg tan hide, so it's not gonna soak up oil near as well as, say, a saddle or something else like that will. But it's okay, it's still doing its job. If you really have a pair that you haven't oiled in a long time, wrestle them inside out and oil them from the rough outside. They will soak up a lot more oil from that side than they do the smooth side. Fair word of warning though, don't wear a pair of pants you like after you do that when you wear them, because it will ruin those pants. I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil to my bowl here. Get my sheepskin in it again. The bottoms of these are wanting more olive oil than the tops are, which is understandable. The bottoms seem to see more horse sweat and mud and whatever else they come in contact with. But you can see how much darker they are already. We'll flip them over here. More piece of manure there, I can get off. Make sure and get that crease where they're folded at. Just a hair more there. A little heavy, but it'll be alright. I'm gonna get that vamp there where it's doubled. Go up the inside of this leg here. Another nice thing about olive oil compared to using like a bear fat, which bear fat works exceptionally well if you can get your hands on it, but your dogs won't want to chew up whatever you treated, versus, you know, that or a tallow of some sort. I am going to take and put a little bit on the inside around the cuffs down here. It's getting pretty dry right there. I don't want it to crack. So that's the only part right here I'm actually going to kind of over treat with this oil. It's just right down that very bottom. And that dries out so much because that's always the part that's in the water. It's in the manure. It's, you know, it's takes the most abuse of the whole shaft, so to speak, in terms of wanting to dry out. So it's soaking it up. Don't know how well you guys can see that. Pretty simple though. Soaked it up from the outside. Okay, do the same on the other leg, and then I will hang these in front of this fireplace for the night, just like everything else that we're going to do here. Time and heat is your friend in terms of getting that oil into the material. So this process of doing this, it's not rocket science, guys. If you get way too much on there and it's not all soaked in by the morning, take a paper towel, wipe it off. Common sense there. If these are done enough, good for another year or two. If you're in a climate where it rains way more or snows way more, or you know, something like that, well, do them every year then. Second thing I treat with olive oil is my boots. That's the same process. I did these about a month ago, so I'm not going to be near as thorough, and they're not going to show near as much of a difference as they did. I'm just going to give them another little light touch-up coat right here. You can see that even at that, they're going to want to soak it in here. Super, we didn't, how do I say this? Let me think. So we didn't saturate the shafts. When I do my boots every fall, though, I do my boots every fall. Treat them heavy. Because whether you got shotguns or a pair of chinks or whatever kind of shafts you wear, or even if you're one of those guys that wears a snowmobiler's outfit that's insulated, I've worn them myself, coveralls. It seems like everything always drains right down onto your boots. Saturate them with this oil. Having the tops of them shed water will keep your feet so much warmer. I'm going to go over this one again here, get just a dab more. Same as your shafts though, set these by a fireplace, you know, knock all the manure off them before you come in the house. Set them by the fireplace for a couple hours when you got the fireplace going. Let the boots get good and warm. If they're almost too warm to touch, that's fine. I mean, don't cook them, so to speak, but get them good and hot. Go around your heel. That way it doesn't look as dumb. You know, they kind of blend right there. The same way here. These will sit by the fireplace overnight tonight. Can do your spur straps if you so desire. I'll give these a little bit of love real quick just cause. I'm not going to be too thorough on them. The set's getting a little bit tired as it is anyways. Kind of easy way to remember it's we're going to oil our saddle in the spring and our other stuff in the fall, kind of. You know, if you got headstalls you oil, you can oil them whenever you want. That don't matter. I don't have any headstalls that really require oiling. I should probably do the Mustangs, but anyways, that's enough on the spur straps there. So that's the only things I'll use olive oil for. And you can buy the cheap olive oil. You don't need the extra virgin or the organic or whatever. This is just pure olive oil. And it's out of date by 2 years. It's fine. It just lives in my little leather room or shop or whatever you want to call it. Okay, the next thing, and no less important than anything else, is I prefer oilskin. This is an Outback Trading Co. I've used Outback stuff for a couple years. I'm not sponsored or endorsed by them in any means whatsoever. I would love to be because I love their products. This is some of their duck back dressing. It's made specifically for these oilskin garments. They offer dusters, vests, jackets like this. I mean, go to their website, see if there's anything you like. It's pretty simple too. You're gonna set your garment and your duck back by the fireplace, let it get warm. This stuff will kind of get a little bit soft, a little bit runny. Just take an old wash rag, get you a little bit of it there, and we're just gonna wipe it in. We're gonna pay extra attention. You can see how quick it went there. We're gonna pay extra attention to our seams. Seams on an oilskin are always the weak point. That's always where they'll leak. If you find yourself starting to get wet on your shoulder seams or something like that, it doesn't mean that garment is wore out. It means it's just simply time to retreat it. So I kind of place a little more emphasis on the seams than anywhere else, but try and get the coverage as even as you can. Like these shoulder seams right here, these are always ones I really like to put a lot on. It seems like they're kind of always the first ones to leak. They get a lot of movement, of course, and they're up top catching all the rain. I like oilskin because it sheds water but it breathes. You know, your traditional yellow slicker, it might keep you a touch drier, except you're going to be so wet from your own sweat that you might as well have just not had it on. In my opinion, I'm not a big fan of the yellow slickers that you see all over. It's like wearing a trash bag. Get this collar good. Really try and wipe it down into that seam between the collar and the body of it. Like I said, it's not rocket science here. It's just, you know, takes a little bit of time to do, a little bit of patience, but you'll sure be glad you did it the first time you get caught out in one of them cold sideways storms. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do that whole jacket just like that. Set it back over the back of this chair, and it's going to live by this fireplace overnight also. So, that's that. If you guys have any other things you do to your gear in the fall to get ready for the cold and wet weather, go ahead and post it up in the comments. Let me know. I'm sure I'm forgetting to do something that'd make my life a little bit better. If you treat your boots or your oilskins, or you know, maybe you're a guy that wears them canvas jackets. I've seen a couple of those. How do you treat those? I have no idea. I've never wore a canvas jacket. But yeah, post it up in the comments. We have a little discussion on here about it. Stay warm, stay dry. Your days will be a lot better and a lot nicer. So, anyways, guys, make sure and like and share and subscribe. Send this video to a cowboy you know who's always complaining about being cold and wet. You'll save him a little bit of heartache. Or don't send it to him. Do all this stuff yourself. Look smarter and then say, hey, watch this video and you could be not as miserable. Anyways, check out RubuckNevada.com. Get you a poly rope. They don't get near as aggravated in the wet weather as cotton ropes do. They will get a little bit softer in the cold, but that's good for the heading end of things and on the heeling end of things. As long as your horse is stopped and your timing's a little bit right, a soft rope's no problem to heel with. So I've got a roping clinic coming up in Hawaii. It's a collaboration between myself and Dalton with 310 Ranch Life. It's the 30th and 31st of January. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're stuck in the States and it's getting cold, head over to Hawaii for a couple days in January, hang out with us and do some roping. You can sign up for that clinic on 310edu.com. I am tongue-tied right now. Anyways, I hope to see all of you guys there. That's going to be a fun clinic. Get yourself some ranch ropes for that clinic at RubuckNevada.com. And make sure you're getting a gram of protein per pound of body weight. The link below will get you 10% off Transparent Labs. They sell a lot more than protein on there, but their protein's the best on the market. It's 100% all natural, grass-fed whey protein. There's no junk, no artificial dyes, no fillers, no crap in their products. I've used their whey protein powder for over 2 years myself. It's nice to go have your workout in the morning, come straight home, make one of their protein shakes. I do it with milk and 2 scoops of the protein powder. Just sets you up for the day, keeps you full, you're not hungry, you're not craving sweets at 10 o'clock as you drink the last of your coffee. You're just good to go. Anyways, guys, stay warm and stay dry, and God bless.